Listen closely. You spent decades building that IRA. You played by the rules. You let the money grow tax, deferred. Now, in your 60s, many of you finally have a few quiet years where your income on paper is lower than it's been in decades. This is the last powerful window the tax code gives you to move money into a Roth at the lowest rates you may ever see again. But here's what most people don't realize until it's too late. If you do nothing, the IRS will eventually force withdrawals at age 73, whether you need the money or not. And when those forced withdrawals collide with Social Security, many couples end up paying higher taxes on their benefits and higher Medicare premiums at the exact time they thought life would finally get simpler. The window is open right now, but it won't stay open forever. The gap years you shouldn't waste. Between the day you stop working and the day required minimum distributions begin, many of you will have 7 to 10 years when your taxable income is unusually low. No salary. No Social Security yet. If you're smart enough to wait until 70, these are the years you can move substantial amounts from your traditional IRA into a Roth while staying in the 10% or 1-2% bracket. Later, when Social Security and forced RMDs arrive together, those lower brackets will already be used up. You'll have taken advantage of them while they were still cheap. If you wait, the IRS takes over. 2 million IRA, you could be forced to withdraw Roth 455 in the first year alone, money you may not need, taxed at whatever rate you're in that year. Add Social Security, and many couples watch up to 85% of their benefits become taxable because they cross the long, outdated 44,000 provisional income threshold. How much should you convert? The real 2026 numbers. Let's make this concrete. Take a married couple, both 66, retired, waiting to claim Social Security at 70. With 9 and Alden in a traditional IRA and only 5 20 and in other income. In 26 they can use the stand deduction 3-2 unders. The extra amount for being 6'5", about 3 nons total. The temporary senior deduction available only through 2028, 22,000 for the couple. That's nearly 4,750 in deductions before they owe federal tax. For married couples, tops out around 800 of taxable income. Add the deduction, and they can have roughly 800 of total income and still stay at 22% or below. After subtracting their other income, they subtracting the 20 to do and 30,000 this year, while paying only 10% or 1-2% on most of it. That's serious money. Done consistently over several years, it can dramatically shrink future forced withdrawals and protect more of their Social Security. The silent mistake that destroys most of the benefit. Here's something I see far too often, and it quiet kills the entire advantage of a Roth conversion. 6s get excited and convert untets from their traditional IRA into a Roth. Then they turn around and pull the money to pay the tax bill straight out of that same IRA. When you do that, you're shrinking the very account you're trying to grow tax-free. You lose years of compound growth on that tax money. The Roth never reaches its full power. Roth conversions only deliver their maximum benefit when you pay the taxes with money you already have. Sitting outside the retirement account, in a checking or savings account, or even a taxable brokerage. That way, the entire converted amount stays inside the Roth, growing completely tax-free for the rest of your life and beyond. If you have to pull the tax money from the IRA itself, you're often better off converting a small amount that you can comfortably pay tax on from the outside. The widow and widower tax trap most couples never see coming. This is the reason many thought couples over 60 decide to do Roth conversion while both spouses are still alive. And it's one of the most powerful protections you can create. Imagine this. You and your spouse have planned carefully for decades. Then one of you pass away. The surviving spouse now files taxes as single. The tax brackets are suddenly cut roughly in half. The IRMAA threshold for Medicare premiums are also cut in half. Yet the required minimum distributions from the traditional IRA that belong to the spouse who passed away don't disappear. They often continue or transfer under inheritance rules, still generating taxable income. Many widows and widowers are blindsided by this. They suddenly face high effective tax rates, high Medicare costs, and forced withdrawals they didn't expect, all while grieving and trying to manage life alone. A Roth that was converted earlier, while both of you were still here, becomes one of the greatest financial lifeboats you can leave behind. The surviving spouse can withdraw from it tax-free, without pushing them in high brackets or triggering high Medicare premiums. It protects the person left behind from the IRS steadily eroding what you both worked so hard to build. This is why so many couples in their 60s and early 70s make Roth conversions a priority, not just for them, but to protect the one who may outlive the other. When a Roth conversion is the wrong move, not every situation calls for conversion. If you're still in a high tax bracket now and expect to remain there, it may not make sense. If your IRA balance is modest, the savings may not justify the complexity. If you plan significant charitable giving, after 70 and a half, qualified charitable distributions often work better. And in some cases, if your adult children are in high tax brackets, leaving a traditional IRA for them to inherit under the 10-year rule can sometimes be the smart legacy move. Conversion is a powerful tool. It is not automatic. The window that closes after 2028. Right now, you have an extra advantage that won't last. The temporary senior deduction is only available through 2028. After that, the math becomes less favorable for many people. Every year you wait, your IRA continues growing, and you move 1 year closer to the forced withdrawal that can collide with Social Security and Medicare costs at the same time. What you should do now: look at your projected income for this year and next. Calculate how much room you actually have before hitting the top of the 22% bracket or the 2/8 IRAA threshold for a married couple. Make sure you have cash outside the IRA ready to pay any taxes. Never pull the tax money from the retirement account itself. And have an honest conversation with a trusted advisor who can model what happens if one of you pass away first. Run the numbers both ways, with and without conversions. See the real difference it can make for the surviving spouse. Many use retirement modeling tools right now to see exactly how conversion strategies affect their taxes, Medicare costs, and what's left for the one who may live longer. Don't let the IRS decide your legacy. You work for decades. You save responsibly. You deserve to decide how much of your money stays with you and your family instead of going to the government. The people who act during these gap years are the ones who keep more control, pay lower lifetime taxes, and, most importantly, give their spouse a strong financial position if they are left alone. The people who wait often end up writing much larger checks to the IRS than they ever planned, sometimes at the worst possible time. You still have time, but the window is narrower than most people realize. Calculate your real room. Pay any taxes from money you already have outside the IRA, and think carefully about the protection you can give the person who may one day file taxes alone. Your future self and the person who may one day survive you will be grateful you acted while you still could.